I'm working on some patterns for a beginner series for making gifts. I'm going to try to do every week until Christmas. We'll see how busy I get. I usually get really busy around Christmas, but I'm going to try to do a video and a pattern every week until Christmas, something that you can follow and we can do together and you can make to give as a gift for Christmas. So I'm working on cardinal patterns right now. This is the evolution of one of my patterns, my little notebook. And this is the one that I really like. So we're going to go ahead and I'm going to trace this out onto a piece of cardstock. And these are my hand-drawn patterns. And so when you download the pattern, you're going to get it in hand-drawn form. And you're going to have to download it and do the same thing that I'm doing here. Print it out and then trace it onto your piece of paper. So hopefully it can be something that everybody can follow along with. My website is reneestainedglassworks.com and I'll put the link up for that. So I'm just going to go ahead and start tracing out my pattern. This part of the pattern is going to be done in wire, and these are the cuts we're going to make. Try to keep them simple and only a few cuts. This will probably be our hardest one. So we'll go ahead and get started. Here are the supplies we need for our beginner stained glass cardinal pattern. You can find this pattern on my website, reneestainedglassworks.com. It's a free pattern. I also have a video showing how to download this pattern and how I trace it out. These are my own hand-drawn patterns. And it's part of a series that I'm working on, making a beginner stained glass gift every week until Christmas. And so for this project, we're going to need our soldering iron. I like to use the Heku FX601. We have our fluxes. We have the Noka Road Paste Flux. I love this. And for liquid flux, I love to use the Novacan Old Masters. And then we're going to be using 6040 solder. And you'll see on this pattern here, I have some optional wire work design. So I have 18 gauge tin copper wire. That's going to go with that. This is my table foiler. This is optional. Can hand foil. We have our basic glass cutting tools. Our stained glass that we've traced out. These are the three colors we're going to need, the orange, red, and black. These are the pens that I'm using for that. The 7/32 foil. Our chain to hang our cardinal. And when I'm doing wire work or the jump rings, here's the jump rings. These are 1/4 inch. I might make smaller ones. We'll see how it goes. I like to use the alligator clips to hold it. Also helps with wire work. And these are just basic jewelry tools that we're going to be using. So that's pretty much everything except for like our cleaning supplies and stuff like that. So for the cleaning supplies, which I'm inserting now, these are all cleaning supplies that I use. They will all work. However, I do recommend the CJ's Flux Remover, and I really like using the Myers baking soda soap with baking soda, and then finishing it off with the vinegar. And we'll go over this in our videos coming up. These are some extra supplies that are optional if you want. I do recommend using a polish. It doesn't have to be a stained glass polish. A lot of people use Pledge. I haven't used it, but looking at the results from them, it looks pretty good. You just want to make sure that you have something that's going to protect your solder and make your stained glass shine. And so like I said, these are extras, and we'll do these at the end of our video if anybody's interested. And so we're going to go ahead and get started. The first thing we're going to do is go to my website, reneestainedglassworks.com. And then on the side menu, we're going to choose Stained Glass Patterns. And then from here, we're going to choose our Beginner Cardinal Pattern. We're going to add this to our cart. Don't worry, it's free. And then we're going to go to checkout. We kind of still have to go through the process. You don't have to put any credit card information like that or anything like that in. Just an email address and your name. And then we're going to download our pattern. After it's downloaded, we're going to open it on our computer and save it. I like to save to my desktop. It makes it much easier to retrieve it. I'm going to go into my Cricut design space and I'm going to upload Okay, so I want to make this about 4 inches. So I size this to 4 inches wide by 2.5 inches tall. And this is the perfect size that I want. And of course you can make it whatever size you would like. And now we're going to go to the glass shop and we're going to trace this out onto our cardstock. Okay, so we have our pattern that we printed out, and I have my piece of cardstock. I'm just going to cut a piece off. I'm inserting this because I wanted to show another alternative to a giant glass light table. This is the Cricut little light table, and it will work perfect for what we're doing. We're doing ornament size pieces and it'll work perfect for that. So yeah, I just wanted to give another alternative. A simple little traceable pattern that we're going to do just the old-fashioned way. Hopefully everybody can see. I hope that. And I, of course, just went right off the line. So 5 pieces, and that's it. Okay, so here's the pieces of glass that I'm using, and I guess I'll use my white pen. You don't need very much glass. This is a good way to use scrap. If you have a lot of scrap lying around. And for those that are more advanced, this is a pretty fast pattern. You can whip out a bunch of ornaments and you can embellish it a lot to make it extra cute. Usually go over my pattern in Sharpie. Makes it easier to see.